All right, so now let's look at what this looks like in the context of actually reading. This book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, I read by Zora Neale Hurston. Still one of my favorite books that I've read ever as a student. I read this in 8th grade. And I remember that there was a lot of vocabulary that was challenging for me in this. So I want to read to you first to let you hear what it sounds like to see a reader who is really working and struggling with decoding. And then we'll take a look at what it would actually look like to feel a strength in decoding. In between each of those parts, I want to have you actually with a partner do some practice reading, both as a struggling decoder and as a decoder who's doing it really well and fluently and with automaticity, so that you can immerse yourself in the experience of being that in that place of being a beginning reader. Remember when? We all were there once. All right, so I'm going to read aloud for you first as a student who's struggling to decode, so you can see what that process can look like. Here we go. So Janie waited a bloom time and a green time and an orange time. But when the pollen again guilded the sun and sifted down on the world, she began to stand around the gate and expect things. What things? She didn't know exactly. Her breath was gusty and short. She knew things that nobody had ever told her. For instance, the words of the trees and the wind. Okay, so let's pause there. I want you now to, so this was like a reader who was maybe struggling a bit with decoding. Notice that I was still able to mostly decode a lot of these words. I want you to actually take a minute and analyze what happened for me here. What were the words I struggled with, and why do you think I may have struggled with those words? Go ahead and pause the video right here so you can see this part of the text. And I want you to actually talk with your partner about what I struggled with and why you think I struggled with those parts.